Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Jared Pali's Fragrance Reviews. Tonight, we are going to be looking at a vintage classic from the house of Estee Lauder. This is known as Lauder for Men, which came out in 1985, and this is classified as an aromatic fougere. So this is a definite vintage style fragrance. It's an excellent, I guess you could say, 1980s powerhouse. It has deep green notes. It's bitter, it's sour with some of its citrus notes. It has white and red floral notes and a definite animalic appeal. Fragrances are not made like this anymore. This is like time travel back to the 80s in a bottle. It is so different from the modern style fragrances. And lately, I've been smelling a lot of the modern scents, and now I've smelled some of my vintage collection. And there is an enormous difference. And I could see why a modern gentleman would have trouble with something like this, because it is on a completely different path than the modern sense. Not only are the vintage style more powerful, more animalic, and the modern are sweeter, but I find the vintage fragrances much more natural smelling. The modern ones are very synthetic. So I guess if you're a gentleman that grows up with sweet smelling synthetics, that's what you're gonna like, and you're gonna have trouble with the vintage style. So here's the bottle. I'm gonna give it a spray in the back of my wrist. So initially, you get a definite pine note. That's what I take in right from the beginning. There's also some bitter green notes, some herbaceous notes. Also, there is a sour citrus. But right from the start, there is an animalic muskiness to this fragrance. So a lot of people worry, does this fragrance have the so-called old man smell to it? I would say no. This is more of a musky animalic smell than a pissy animalic smell. And the pissy animalic smell is the one that I think gives off the old man vibes, which turns a lot of modern gentlemen off. The first dry down in this fragrance, you get definite green notes. You have some sharp and sour citrus, red florals, which I think gives a bit of a soapiness, and a bit of a sweetness from white florals. And a lot of these notes or vibes that you're getting are faint. They're kind of intermingling amongst each other. You pick up this little bit of the sweetness and a bit of the sourness. So I call it's like a multi-dimensional fragrance. So even though I don't think it develops much in a linear fashion, I think in a horizontal fashion it develops. There's a lot going on in the fragrance, but it doesn't really develop that much in a linear fashion in terms of depth, but more in width. Later on, this fragrance definitely becomes a little bit more bitter, earthy, still has some sour and bitterness. You still have the floral notes. And what changes in this fragrance a little bit, you get a little bit of amber and some definite spiciness. So as advertised, there are many notes in this fragrance. The top notes are juniper berries, galbanum, green notes, clary sage, anise, lemon, coriander, cardamom, and mandarin orange. The mid notes are carnation, vetiver, lily of the valley, jasmine, and rose. The base notes are oak moss, patchouli, sandalwood, musk, cedar, amber, and vanilla. So I think there's 21 or 22 notes in this scent. So in that context, this is a complex fragrance. But like I said, when you smell it, there's a lot going on. Every time you smell your wrist or you smell your wafts, you get slightly different notes. But those notes don't really change that much from the beginning of the fragrance. Again, there's not that much development, but from first spray till the last so-called dry down, all of the different elements change in their potency. So you maybe will get more citrus at one point and less citrus at another, more soapiness than less soapiness, etc. So I think it's an excellent fragrance. This is a tremendous classic that I guess you would say is a definitive fragrance of the 1980s and of the vintage age. So who would wear this? I think anyone that is a vintage lover or 30 years old and up, but anybody can wear it if it's your style. Longevity, I got about 5 to 6 hours. Great set wafts. I don't think you need to reapply. I would caution wearing this to the office because people may not necessarily like the smell. Even though you do, doesn't mean other people will. This is a definite try before you buy. So overall, if you're a vintage lover and you want something a little bit more masculine, I think this is 2 thumbs up. This is an excellent, excellent vintage fragrance if you're looking for something like that. But if you're a young man that wants to go clubbing and wants to impress the ladies, this may not necessarily be for you. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Any comments or questions you have, leave them down below and I will always get back to you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.